Welcome to Lemon Stream, where we feature stories of the unknown, mysteries, post-apocalyptic fiction, and other weird stuff. So settle in, get comfortable, get ready. Here we go. The New World, Chapter 18, Exploration. We don't have enough food, Denise said. The group was having its weekly Sunday night meeting, a practice introduced under the new leadership plan. We have quite a bit of food, she continued. But for a group our size, it's not going to be enough to get us through the winter. I've spent a lot of time adding everything up, and best I can tell, we've got about 3.5 months, if we're careful. It's October now, so that means we're going to run out in late January or early February. That's too early for us to plant and grow more food. How's the hunting going? Joe asked. Maybe we can put up some extra meat for the winter. Not so good, Michael said. I've hardly seen anything out there since that first little deer. Lots of carcasses. Most of them aren't even being cleaned up by coyotes. I've only seen that one deer in the last 3 weeks. I'll give up 3 meals a week, said Sylvia. Make sure the kids have food. That will work, said Denise, if we can serve like that. We can stretch the food further, but it still won't be enough. And I do have a problem with people skipping meals and not getting enough food during the winter, when more people tend to get sick. How about the McSpaddens, said Joe. Maybe they had a little food at their place. Well, said Darren, there's an idea. But, we can go beyond that. What do you mean? Asked Sandy. The McSpaddens probably had some food at their place. They didn't look like they've been starving, but it probably wouldn't be enough. But how many other houses are around? Houses that are empty except maybe some bodies? People who didn't shelter or people who didn't make it home? There must be lots of houses out there with food in the pantry or the kitchen, food that's not being used, food that's just going to spoil. Yeah, Sandy said, excited. There must be lots of empty houses out there with food on the shelf. A little here and a little there. We might be able to put together enough to get us through. It's not like the owners are going to need it at this point. Why let it spoil when it can save our lives? And other stuff, too, said Denise. Think of the blankets and clothes that are out there. And tools, Michael added. All just free for the taking. Why let it all rot when we can use it? Aren't we just a gang of thieves, Joe said, laughing and shaking her head. Said Sandy, it's funny. We're talking about canned food and tools and blankets and shirts, but not one of us said money and jewelry. It really is a different world. The others nodded and chuckled. He was right. Some of the things which were so important in the old world were worthless now. When you think about it, Darren said, maybe we should grab some of that. At least jewelry and maybe old coins. I know it's not worth anything right now, but maybe in the future, at least maybe for our own enjoyment. We might as well. It's easy to carry and doesn't cost us much more effort. Sounds fine, said Sandy, as long as we keep our priorities straight. Food first, then blankets, clothing, and tools, then other things. And car batteries, said Stevie. His face had healed well, leaving just a light scar on his cheekbone. The more batteries we have, the more electricity we can store and the more amps we can push. Don't forget guns and ammo, Darren added. Okay, said Sandy. We'll make a shopping list of what we want and prioritize it. But we also need to organize this so we're not going out half-cocked. Darren, can you take the lead on this? If we're going to do this, then other people have thought about it too. Figure out how we're going to go about this and how we approach it in a secure way. No problem, said Darren. I'll build a couple little wagons, Sandy continued, something we can haul things back on. Since none of the vehicles start, we can't use them. But I can put together little wagons and scavenge tires from the lawnmowers. Michael, we can use the four-wheeler, but not on the first contact. We don't want people to know we're coming. Any luck getting the other four-wheeler working? Nope, said Michael. It won't even try to turn over. I think it's just too new and some chip or sensor got fried. I tried for several hours, but can't even get it to turn over. All right, Sandy said. It is what it is. At least we have the one, better than none. Just draw enough gas off one of the vehicles to make sure the tank is full on the good one. Yep, Michael said. Before we make our shopping list, said Sandy, don't forget that at next week's meeting we'll be choosing our new leader for the next month. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I got this experience, but it's a little stressful too. I'm ready to watch someone else do it. I have some ideas for the shopping list, Joe said, holding up a notebook. I've written some things down: food, blankets, clothing, guns, ammo, hand tools, power tools, garden tools, yard tools, batteries, jewelry, and anything else that looks interesting. Sounds good, Sandy said. How about this? Anyone with ideas for the list, see Joe. Tomorrow I'll catch up with Darren and Joe and go over the list and his plans, and we'll firm everything up, so maybe we can start by Tuesday. Anything else we need to talk about? He looked around the room. Nobody stirred. Okay, he said, then let's end this thing.